Hey, GW coming to you live. Oh, I know it's excuse me, it's been a long time since I've been in front of this camera in front of you guys. A lot of stuff has been going down. Um we took a break before I took a break before the Olympics and a lot of drama had went on there. Now, you're going to have to forgive me because I don't know the Olympians' names, but I can tell you some of the things that did go down. The Mexican Olympic team actually threw their uniforms in the garbage. Yeah, that created a lot of buzz. The United States women's volleyball team actually won a match, but was actually the point was retracted because of a bad callback. I watched that game. I can't remember who they were playing. I think Canada. Not sure. But anyway, whoever the other team was, got the win. We should have won that. And China decided to lie about weather conditions for the track, and marathon events. So it was all pretty entertaining. The only other thing I got to tell you is next time the Olympics are on, please, if you want to watch every event, buy yourself at least 15 TVs because you're going to need them. You know, we couldn't keep track, unless you had an app on your phone, which I'm sure they did make one, that you would not be able to keep track of who won whatever. And then there's our gymnast. I'm not going to name names. Everybody knows who she is. She got to Tokyo. She didn't participate. Then she found out she forgot her HD80 medicine. And then she was going to do the balance beam on the finals. Now, I don't know if she ever did because I never watched that. I never saw her perform. But all in all, I mean, those gymnasts are where it's at. I mean, those guys and girls are acrobatic, flexible, and they put some of Hollywood's stuntmen to shame. And on that note, I'm glad that we did pretty well in this Olympics, guys. I'm not saying we didn't, but we did. But there was just, like I said, more drama. It seemed like, and then there was a boxer from, I don't know if it was Russia or some other place. Boxing was hardly on unless you got home at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon to watch boxing. You'd catch a little snippet of it here and there. But anyway, this boxer decided in the second round to headbutt somebody. He was disqualified. Then he protests. He sits on the ring apron, and then officials finally get him back after calming him down. He goes back and sits again on the ring apron. I don't understand it. But yeah, you can look up all that kind of stuff. Very drama-filled, crazy up and down Olympics. But anyway, they're over. So now let's talk about other stuff. First and foremost, before I get into this next thing, I want to say something. I was reading on my Gmail account, which is where I get you guys comments or whatever. Someone had watched my tribute to Ryan Nicholson. Now, before you even comment on that, I know that my tribute, sometimes I don't know what to say. Sometimes I admire somebody. And sometimes, when you hear about somebody passing away, your mind goes all over the place because you're trying to figure out what to say and you're so upset. And this guy wrote a comment saying, "May Ryan Nicholson be tormented in the flames of hell." Okay. Well, first and foremost, dude, you can hate Ryan's stuff all you want. You can hate the way he makes films. You can hate the content of his films. You can even hate how he advertises his films, which he doesn't, or he didn't. But I talked to the man on the phone. I talked to him through Facebook. I called Plot Digger, the main office up there in Canada. And I talked to him personally. And I got to tell you that I know you don't know him. But from what I can gather from him, he was a very cool person. He was all about the people. He was all about making people happy. He was making movies that he wanted to make. Okay? And it might not be movies that you wanted to make. So my point is, before you judge somebody, find out who they really are. Perfect example. All right, I'm going to tell you a story about that. My parents, when in 2007, we saw WWE No Way Out. JBL, Bradshaw, in a barbed wire steel cage for the main event, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now look up the pay-per-view. It might be on Peacock, and WWE, you might be able to find it. But anyway, stellar pay-per-view up and down the cards. The next morning, my father and my mother went to the Pittsburgh airport. The WWE wrestlers were there. Okay? My nephew got an autograph from The Undertaker. Undertaker, my dad said he was the nicest guy in the world. Brock Lesnar was there too. My cousin went up to get a picture or an autograph from Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar told him to go himself. Okay? My dad told me this, so I believe him. So my point is, you can like Brock Lesnar the wrestler, but Brock Lesnar the person, you know what I mean? They're two different people. So my point is, Ryan Nicholson's films is different from the way Ryan Nicholson acts, or did act. And I'm sorry I'm a little fired up, but he has done a lot for me. Okay? So I'm sorry that I went on a tirade. That leads me into my next thing. Recently it was announced that Marky Post, who was on Night Court, who was also on a Lifetime movie called Chasing the Dragon, where she was a heroin addict, an actress who I watched since I was little, had passed away from cancer. Very sad situation. Very, very tragic. And her character on Night Court was one of the reasons you watched Night Court. You wanted to see what would happen to Christine Sullivan next. You know? Most commonly chased by John Larroquette's character Dan Fielding throughout the entire series. But regardless, it is a sad, sad, tragic thing to happen. Especially, like I said, because I have followed this actress. She was also on Chicago PD. You know, and a number of other shows. But that movie, Chasing the Dragon, is probably hard to find, but it was a very good portrayal of a heroin addict. And I think you guys should check it out. I remember seeing it. It was an early 90s film. It was definitely pretty cool. Speaking of films, jumping back into this, as I told you, The Toxic Avenger was being filmed. Apparently, the film has now wrapped, and it has Lloyd Kaufman's seal of approval on it. Now, the only thing that makes me worry about this film, as I told you guys before, the environment that it's coming up in, and what I have gathered about the film is Peter Dinklage is going to play Melvin Ferd Junko. That was his full real name revealed. If you watch the trailer for the first one, it's Melvin Ferd. In the second one, it's Melvin Junko. Third one's Melvin Junko. They never referenced the Ferd last name in that. So, check that out. But anyway, Peter Dinklage is going to play Melvin Ferd. And Elijah Wood is going to play the evil character. Kevin Bacon, I thought, would, but no. So, it's going to be pretty interesting. It wrapped. It has a 2022 release date. So we're going to keep our eyes and ears open, because I'd like to see how you could do a remake. And apparently a remake has been kicked around for a few years now. But it's got to deliver on, you know, head-crushing violence, razor-sharp satire, and an un-PC attitude. And that's what I'm looking for in The Toxic Avenger in 2022. Okay, now that we got that out of the system, two things. The other thing I do want to kind of touch on briefly is that I know I haven't been around to cut movie reviews. That's because I've been busy. My mother-in-law, has Parkinson's, dementia, and we've been dealing with her, getting all her stuff taken care of, her funeral arrangements, the whole 9 yards. Well, my wife has. I've been just kind of going along and helping out where I can. So I've been absent from cutting YouTube videos. Also, it seems like just everything's different again. You know, we went from wearing masks to not wearing masks. Now we got to wear the damn mask again. And now they're trying to push vaccinations. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. I'm not political. I could care less. I just think it's a bunch of crap. I think people want to go back to the way that it was before the pandemic and move on with their life and you know, get on. Also, the weather has not been cooperating with us, because every time I try to watch a movie, we got a lightning storm or a thunderstorm or severe thunderstorm warning or torrential downpours or Cat 5 hurricanes rolling through here. Okay, maybe not that severe, but, you know. And it's just been nuts. So there's that. Trailers keep popping up for Halloween Kills, and it's going to be... looks pretty cool, actually. Looks very, very cool. Also, speaking of movie news, you guys are going to want to hear this. Kevin Smith. You guys know him from Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma. Which, by the way, Dogma, you cannot find that streaming anywhere. I did a search because I just was curious. Can't find it nowhere. Is making Clerks 3. Now, what's Clerks 3 about, you ask? We've seen 1 and 2, Greg. Clerks 3 has to deal with Randall Graves, Dante Hicks' best friend, recovering from a heart attack and taking a very serious look at his life and straightening himself up, just much like Kevin Smith did after his heart attack. So it's modeled after the real-life events. He is filming that, and then he is going to film Mallrats 2. And I don't know where the Jersey trilogy or quadrilogy we're going to go after this. Maybe we'll see a Dogma 2. What do you guys think? I think it'd be all right. I want to get a couple big shout outs to Rebecca Lowe's. I've seen her recently. She's the one, guys, that actually got me to do this. Her and a few other people had pushed me to do this, and it was nice seeing her. You know, pandemic, everybody's isolated, so it was good to see Rebecca the other day. And that's about it. You know, and there's one thing, guys, I'm going to leave you with that really gets me, is that, you know, I'm a big Friday the 13th fan, and I have the game, you know, the game that got stopped because of the damn lawsuit and this and that, and there's still no clear winner in the lawsuit. According to Corey Feldman, talked to an agent and says the lawsuit is over. Now, for those of you who don't know what the lawsuit's about, I'm going to try to really speed it up here. Victor Miller, who created Friday the 13th, is in a lawsuit against Sean Cunningham, who says created Friday the 13th. Victor Miller says he owns the characters. Sean Cunningham says he came up with the thing, and it's a long, drawn-out court battle. But anyway, because of that, the game prior to the lawsuit was going to get the Jason X Grendel map, a bunch of other stuff. There was even talk about putting the characters in a cruise ship so you can run around there and have Jason kill you in different ways. Everything is stopped. But every time I go on YouTube, guys, I see people go, oh, well, the Grendel map's out. I go on my games, it's not out. You know why? Because it doesn't exist. People are modding the crap out of it. Speaking of movies that, you know, have taken a long time to get back into theaters, Jackass 4 is coming out. And there's a lot of controversy about this film. You guys can look it up. Basically, Bam Margera will not be in the movie. Bam will not be in the movie because of a twofold situation. Johnny Knoxville's crew said that Bam was high on drugs and had a hell of an alcohol problem, and they wanted him to get serious help. Well, since he didn't, he's now terminated from Jackass, the Jackass 4 movie. Bam is countersuing, saying that Knoxville and a bunch of other people, the director, Jeff Tremaine, kept him drugged up so that Paramount execs would keep him away from the movie. So it's a lot of back and forth, and it's probably going to end pretty nasty. But, you know, I'm just keeping my eye on this situation. And that's about it. I mean, I just felt like I wanted to come on here and give you guys some of this stuff that I've been paying attention to. You know, oh, also, if you guys have Stars and you like pro wrestling, check out a show called Heels. I just watched the first episode, and it was actually pretty decent. It has callbacks to actual things that happen in wrestling. Um, Most notably, you'll notice the Hulk Hogan Jeff Jarrett angle at the end of the first episode, where it's almost a ripoff of a match. You will also notice, how backstage, if you ever watch or go to any of these independent wrestling events, you'll notice how well they're organized and how, one person is in charge of the writing in the whole 9 yards. It was a pretty cool show, and it was actually pretty decent. The only thing is, if you have kids, keep them away from this, because there's a lot of language, and there's some pretty good nudity in the first season, or the first episode. So definitely check it out if you're a wrestling fan. But other than that, I'm just waiting for Aliens Fire Team to drop, and sitting here, I didn't get much sleep last night. I have a pulled muscle on my shoulder, so you can't get real comfortable. So anyway, that's about all I got. I will try to hit you guys up next week with maybe an Aliens Fireteam review or something. And I only want to talk about one more thing. The game Back 4 Blood, I played the beta, and actually it wasn't bad. Now, people are bitching and complaining because of the AI. I got through the entire beta playing with 2 sets of friends, and I did notice on my second playthrough, whenever the open beta came, that you could play solo. So if Turtle Rock fixes it the way they fix Left 4 Dead, and you kick everything down easy, you're going to skate right through it. And to that dude who I talked about the Ryan Nicholson thing, look, I get it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I was not coming down on you. I just said that basically, for me, he's done a lot. I think differently of him. But, I mean, people, that's what makes this country great, is that people can think however they want about whoever they want, and it might be a different situation. So I don't want us to get in no fight or nothing. I mean, you can believe what you want. I just, that was a little harsh, and maybe I didn't know where it's coming from, and maybe I didn't mean to target you and take you out. I just wanted to clear up the air and tell you my side of the story, basically. But anyway, y'all, thanks for watching, and I am sorry that I haven't been on here. And I guess what I'm going to leave you with today is that I think streaming is the future. I mean, they talked about it, but I really think it is. I've been doing more of that than anything. Fight TV is a good place to start, man. They got all kinds of fights for you, and the customer service department is pretty awesome. I've had them help me on a few things. So definitely check out Fight TV, $4.99 a month. It's available on all Amazon devices. Also, Peacock is now on Amazon, so y'all can stream the crap out of Saved by the Bell if you want. Anyway, that's about it. And like I said, look into those things I told you about. I'll see you back.